Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to listen to the incomparable Win Twice Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Scott and Holly. We always go over, brother, and that's the bottom line. Dig it? So sit back, relax, and prepare to be entertained.
Hello everyone and welcome to day number 7 of the 2024 12 Days of WrestleMas series on the Win Twice Wrestling Podcast. Holly, we've already had a few big hitters. We've still got a few more, and if anything they should be getting bigger and hitting harder as we get a bit more of a juicy hitter. Oh, I don't know quite how I feel about that, but you've said it and it's out there now, so drink that in, everyone. But we have got to our 6th ranked wrestler of 2024.
All these numbers is just messing with my little head.
There's a lot of numbers. It is because we're working backwards in one way
and forwards in another.
Exactly, and then I've got to remember that it's 2024, which can be a struggle at times. Yeah. I've also got to remember the other numbers that I've said and kind of conflate them all together without cocking up, and I feel like I've done okay so far, apart from the facts.
This is why you are doing it and not me.
Well, thank you, but I also on day 2 said day 2. The first time. Yeah, I had to get rid of that because that was pretty poor, and then I completely lost my trail. But importantly, we have come to our 6th wrestler of the year, and that person is an AEW representative. Now,
isn't he just?
We mentioned so we're giving another part of the game away there, but we mentioned before how we're more WWE inclined than we are AEW, but that isn't to say that we don't appreciate the merits of what goes on in the wider world of wrestling. You could argue that there are people that should appear from like New Japan, TNA, etc. Everyone will have their favourites. But
I personally haven't had enough exposure to these things.
And it has to be a joint effort, because I can't put someone forward who you've never seen and have you agree that they're in the top 12. Yeah. So, and to be fair, on this one, I didn't actually really make any concessions. There's only one person on this list who I wouldn't put in there.
I know.
And yet we still haven't got to them. So this member of the AEW roster was tied equal on points with Liv Morgan, who we covered off in the day before, and the person who we will be covering tomorrow, who I'm really fucking happy about.
Yay.
Again, I think we're in agreement that this person is a great wrestler. A stellar wrestler. Although I look at the scores and they only got this high based off the back of my ranking for them rather than yours.
I know.
And again, I think it's to do with how much you actually saw on a weekly basis, because you
100%.
saw their big performances, but you didn't see the bits that went in between, so to speak.
Yes.
That man
is
the man, the myth, the legend. What did you put him down as in your list?
No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Bryan Danielson.
Yes.
But Holly, I'm going to insist, because your phone typoed it, so I don't think it was necessarily a you issue.
I've changed it now, so it's fine.
And what did you call him?
No, it's like it's Brian or something.
It was Dryan, wasn't it?
It was just ridiculous.
It was such a great typo.
Stupid.
It was up there with Saturday and Marengo for me.
Oh, that will live on forever.
Oh, that is all they are. Weirdly, I had a dream about Dean Malenko the other night, and I was like, I don't remember seeing him in this show that I've imagined in my head.
Was it like barbecuing at a grill?
Oh, if only. If only, then I'd have had some good grub going on. He had like a really weird hairdo as well. It was like a kind of curly hair, but like, not mullet, but like mohawk that's not a mohawk. And it didn't work. I'll be honest, it didn't work. But we're not here to talk about my weird dreams of Dean Malenko. We're here to talk about Bryan Danielson. Now, Bryan Danielson has, for a very, very long time, been one of my favourites.
Yes.
Going back pre-WWE, I loved his stuff in Ring of Honor. He was no-nonsense, hard-hitting. His promos were never the best, but they have come on leaps and bounds. I want to say it's not really over a short time, but he's developed into having pretty much every tool you'd want in a professional wrestler.
To me, this is a bold claim. He is... If someone put a photo of a current person in a dictionary and said wrestler, he for me is who I would put in there.
That's amazing. So on what basis?
For me, he just has everything. His ability is outstanding. He always puts himself like on the line, basically.
At his own health's expense.
Yes. Not saying people should do that, but
no.
It does add to it. His promo work, so I will be honest, I don't know much of him pre-WWE.
That can change. I've got all the tools we need for that to change.
But I do remember when he was kind of not fresh, but like was there, shaved head, very like like, to me, I'd put, say, Ricky based.
Yeah.
And I remember listening to him and being like, God, this guy is annoying. And now, he could do no wrong in my book. It helps he's probably married to a Bella twin, but on his own...
Do you know what? I don't think
I
it does.
He's brilliant. I think it does, because I think he's married to the one that would... I mean, it makes more sense.
Really?
What, for him to be married to Brie rather than Nikki?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't think him being married to a Bella...
For me, it helps, is what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is take that out. Let's say
it wouldn't make
never...
a difference.
It's kind of what I'm getting at, because I think although this helped you experience this side of him, the man is an absolute sweetheart.
Yes.
Absolute sweetheart.
Heart
of gold. And yet he can be very vicious in wrestling. And some of his promo, but he's a tough bastard as well. Like, I've seen him in a match have his orbital socket broken, horrendous, and you could just see him for the rest of the match closing his up. But he carried on, did the match. Yeah. He has worked through a multitude of injuries, and like I said, we haven't even touched upon what he's done in the last year.
No.
We have to take all that stuff aside and evaluate just what they've done from what we've seen over the course of the year. Otherwise, we'd have, like, there are people on this who aren't on this list who are still technically active wrestlers who I love and would be in my top 10.
Oh,
but,
same for me.
AJ Styles, I love AJ Styles. Can't put him in the list. Cannot put him in the list.
Yeah, there's not been much.
Exactly. Shinsuke Nakamura, big fan of. Not done anything this year to merit being on the list. I appreciate you have a different take on Shinsuke, especially after what he did recently.
Livid.
Yeah, I bet you are. But
so is he.
But Bryan Danielson is... Everything he has touched in the ring has been fantastic this year. All his big matches. And now he's retired, I guess. I think that's he's done.
I don't know. Well, I watched, obviously, the press conference when he was like, I have to be done effectively, like, for my kids. But then I'm sure he wasn't done, but he's now injured again. And I think I was listening to the podcast that Brie does usually with Nikki, but obviously she's not there. And saying that he's got to have neck surgery again. And you think...
You're done.
Be done.
Yeah.
Just be done.
I think that's the right outcome. He was effectively playing on borrowed time, seeing as in WWE he retired from in-ring competition, came back, developed his style to accommodate that.
That is probably... Sorry to interrupt, but I will forget otherwise. That speech he did in WWE when he effectively retired... was probably one of the very few that I've ever listened to where I've gone, oh, you know what, that actually hits. Because you could tell.
It was real.
It was 100% from the heart. Very good.
I really like the analogy you gave about him being the picture of professional wrestling. And it's because it's his love. It's his one true love. Not to take anything away from Nikki, his kids. Not Nikki. Definitely don't take anything away from Nikki. No. She's had enough taken away from her. Brie. Obviously his family, friends, etc. But that was his first love, and it shows. He never gives anything less than 100%. He's Mr. Consistency, and he has had some big fucking matches this year. Wembley, he headlined, dethroned the other AEW. I'll be honest, so this is the last AEW competitor we've got on this list, and how could it not be Bryan Danielson as being top of that tree?
He makes me want to watch.
He does.
Like him, but also, I wouldn't say I don't like AEW, but obviously if I had the choice, gun to head, if I only had to watch one, it wouldn't be that.
Yep.
Mainly because it's annoying to watch because of the way I can watch it.
Yep.
But if he's got a match against
anyone,
I will want to watch it.
That's the thing, it's anyone. You could put him in there with anyone and I'm intrigued. I want to see how that match looks.
Agreed.
He's obviously not been helped with injuries, like we missed out on him at the previous All-In at Wembley because he broke his arm in a match with Okada, which was, again, a good match.
Yeah.
Great match, arguably. And the way that he had that triumphant moment, I don't have many regrets from what we watch and what we don't watch in wrestling. Him winning the title at Wembley sucks for me. Because I wish I'd been there to see it in person. I don't regret not, like, you know, gun to my head, like you just said. Yeah. If I had to pick, would you rather have gone to the Progress or that? I'd still rather go to the Progress. Yeah. But for that moment, to see him...
Just for that moment.
Yeah. As much as anything else. Again, just become a world champion. And the way he left WWE, well, his contract ran out. He wasn't let go. And just the way he went out. So what's the last thing you remember him doing in WWE?
Jesus.
And I'll tell you what it is, and I want to see your face.
God, I don't remember.
Him and Edge being pinned at the same time in WrestleMania by Roman Reigns.
Oh.
Stack 'em, pin 'em.
Yeah. No.
That's how he left WWE.
Yeah.
And that to me doesn't feel right. Because he had that wonderful moment at WrestleMania 30. The stuff he's done in WWE has been tremendous. Even, when he wasn't an active in-ring performer, he did his role backstage as well and on the camera. I don't see him staying away from wrestling. I would imagine he'll be an agent. I
would say, for me, if he was a trainer, like a wrestling trainer, then...
Which he is.
But do you know what I mean? Like, the people that are going to come from him, be great.
Solid fundamentals.
Yeah.
Solid
In
fundamentals. He has achieved massively for what he's got. His talent in terms of wrestling was always there. Do you know whose school he actually came through?
Oh, no.
Shawn Michaels.
Really?
Do you know what I'd like to see him do? Deputise Shawn in NXT.
Ooh. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Shawn can really do... Not that saying Brian can't do the character work of things.
No, I like that.
But both of them can do both sides very well. And then eventually when Shawn steps away...
Then he... Oh, I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to see.
Mm-hmm.
But they always talk about, I say they. You talk about people like John Cena in the past being Big Match John.
Yeah.
Big Match Brian.
Oh, for sure.
Like, John Cena has done well in big matches, but give me Bryan Danielson matches every day of the week over pretty much most people.
I would agree. And
I'm never not invested.
Even just, obviously we have to just do it based on this year. But yeah, even just this year, outstanding. Yeah. Absolutely outstanding.
Which is then interesting when we come to our individual scores, because you have said some bold statements, which I've not disagreed with.
I haven't watched him that much, let's be clear.
Fine.
That's why what I have watched of him, outstanding. But I just haven't watched enough compared to everyone else that I have watched. And
in theory, based on what we know of his condition and his circumstances, he will not appear on another top 12 list that we do.
No.
So my score for Daniel this year, Daniel Bryanson, I went with there, with Bryan Danielson, is 10. So there were only 2 people on my list that scored higher than him.
Yeah.
And I was just double checking who they were, and I maintain my opinion on that. You scored him 3.
Yeah.
So you scored him next to Swerve on the list. So you just gave him 1 up from Swerve. In hindsight, based on what you said, you're still in agreement with that score?
I'm still sticking with it because, again, 3 sounds low, but compared to all the people that aren't on the list, I still think it's decent, and it's just the fact that I haven't watched a lot. What I have seen has been phenomenal, but the other people that are higher than him on my list, I've watched far more. Mm-hmm. And that's my own fault, but that's life.
But that cements Bryan Danielson as being the 6th best wrestler in our list. I've not got anything else I need to cover off on him, have you?
No, I don't think so. Also, I mean, apart from the fact that he's got one of the best chants that's stayed with him forever, really.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes. But if nothing else, because like I said, we're unlikely to see him on this list again, and if that is truly it, thank you very much for all the memories, Bryan Danielson, and wish you all the best in your retirement. Like he's going to care. He's not going to hear that, but it's nice to know that we got the message out there. You're sitting there wetting yourself. Like, who does this punk think he is? Sat opposite me
very
here.
Sweet.
But no, thank you for everything, sincerely. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed that, and please tune in tomorrow to see who ranked in at number 5.
Bye.
Until next time, this has been a Win Twice Wrestling production. Peace out.